how much money are we wasting on your firecrackers this New Year's Eve?
Overall, New Year's Eve costs us just a tick over 3 million. The fireworks themselves are about 500,000. The rest of that money goes for security, for moving people around the city, for the barriers that we have, keeping people safe. So that's the spend.
Are you having to spend more this year on safety precautions?
Yeah, we will. We'll just make
How
sure.
much more?
Only a couple of 100,000, because we do it all pretty well. But if we need more people, and I talk to police about that as well, then we want to make sure we don't have a repeat of what we had last year.
You're talking about Moomba?
I am.
Yep. So the apex unrest during Moomba has prompted this extra $200,000 in security measures.
I think that we've got to look at these very large public events, when you get hundreds of thousands of people in one spot, and say, okay, we expect the best, but we'll prepare for the worst as well. And that is costly in a big city. Back in 2015, we got 450,000 people. We've had more than that in the city. We've had over 500,000. So preparing for that is a logistic exercise that has to be absolutely precise. And a lot of the work that you don't see is the Emergency Operations Centre. And that's, it's a very quiet room, but there are like 40 or 50 people in there who are focused on nothing but keeping that crowd safe and communication at all times across the whole event.
I just wonder how much of a sell you're going to have to do over the next week or so to get people into the city around New Year's Eve. And I'll tell you why, because we had a call yesterday from Jane, who, along with a number of other families, go to Moomba every year. But have a listen to this.
On the weekend, we got together to discuss what we're doing for Moomba this year, and we've said as collectively as a group that we're just not going. The risk is just too high at the moment with this Apex gang, this African whatever's going on at the moment, and it's happening every day. Not only is it happening every day, but it's happening at times that families are out.
So there you go. I mean, that's an example there where the junior thugs might just be winning.
Yeah, I don't know about every day. But look, there are elements where you can look at it and you can say, well, look, we're confident that event will be fine. So, for instance, the Moomba parade on the Monday, where we get 60 to 70,000 people along St Kilda Road, I don't foresee any problems there. But, where you have sort of carnival rides at night, New Year's Eve, when people are in the city until quite late, that's when you've got to think through what are the extra things we need to do. And one of the things that you can do, which we've worked very hard at, is spread people out across the city. Give them things to do. So the 4 live sites that operate on New Year's Eve, give people some entertainment while they're waiting for midnight, because it's a long time.
Yeah, but that's not the problem though, is it, Robert? The problem is these thugs are coming from opposite ends of the city on arranged missions to actually brawl and disrupt. And we saw it at St Kilda Beach only this week.
We did. And when people are behaving like that, the only correct response is a police response. So how
much more of a police presence will we see on New Year's Eve?
They don't actually reveal the numbers, but they just make sure that they have the resources they need to respond. And that's not just throughout the city. It's being able to respond quickly if something happens somewhere else. And at times we've had to respond on New Year's Eve, as you know, in the Edinburgh Gardens. At times we have to respond on the St Kilda foreshore. And so you need that sort of flying squad mentality, but then you need enough police where there are 400,000 or 500,000 to make sure that crowd is being well cared for. There's nothing quite as calming as the sight of lots of those black uniforms. That visible policing, that high visible policing is one of the things that I think will keep people safe. I'd be very sad if families decided they weren't going to go to Moomba, but Moomba's not just night and carnival rides. Moomba runs for 3 days and culminates in that wonderful parade on the Monday, which for me is the highlight of Moomba.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's not just Moomba. We've got New Year's Eve coming up, you've got Moomba coming up, you've got White Night, which you announced details of that. So, we just want some sort of reassurance. I know that you can't sit here and say you will be okay, because we're living in an era apparently where we just can't stamp out these little thugs. But we don't, by the same token, want to be like Jane, where we're confined to our homes and we don't want to go out.
Absolutely. And therefore, the best you can do is what we're doing at the moment. If we need to put extra resources in, we'll do it. If we need to work harder with police, we will do it. I'll do a media call tomorrow morning that explains something about New Year's Eve to people, but then
We'll do it here. This is keeping in the tradition of this program. Tell us first, and then you can make the
I'll tell you. Okay, I'll give you a nice little teaser for you first. There'll be about a third more fireworks this year, so it'll be far more intense in that 10 minutes after midnight, and you'll see some quite spectacular sort of firework effects, that barrage fan effect, and you'll see some fireworks that kind of travel across the sky, almost like a comet.
Like a shooting star?
Like a shooting star.
Really? How many of those will we have?
We'll have plenty of them. Don't worry about that. Lots of them.
So that'll extend from where to where?
They're fired in different spots, but you'll see some that arc across the city, sort of north to south. And you'll see, if you're down in Docklands looking back towards the city from Harbour Esplanade, you'll see some from there as well. But it'll be quite a spectacular, intense show this year. So there you are. There's a little something in keeping with this program.
Terrific.